right, 9:25 WATD, and the doctor is in the house. It's time now to check in with Dr. John Hayes for a better experience at the doctor's office. Try Dr. John Hayes' new, highly personalized and affordable direct primary care practice. Find out more at drjohnhayesjr.com, drjohnhayesjr.com. And Dr. John Hayes is with us for another week. Dr. Hayes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Beth.
Happy to have you.
Yes, great to be back.
And I love your segment for the week.
Yeah, this week we are focusing on thinking spring, and you had something about gardening. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is a very, very interesting topic. Not only is it something that a lot of us like to do, is to plan for, the spring and the summer, January, February. But there's also some really significant medical evidence that I want to start talking about, to let people know that it's not just like conjecture. There are real physiologic reasons that gardening and outside time, like we speak about all the time, sunlight, that type of thing, has such profound effects. But so this article, when we wrote it, was based upon a research study that showed, actually looking at meta-analysis, looking at 22 studies comparing 76 comparisons between control and treatment groups. And basically what they found is that gardening reduces depression, anxiety, body mass index, while increasing life satisfaction, quality of life, and sense of community. Very, very interesting. And then as the blog article goes on to say, there was also a recent study done in South Korea that found that gardening for 20 minutes a day can improve brain function in seniors. And this is the thing I really like, increases levels of what's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor and platelet-derived growth factor related to memory. So both of these things are substances that our body actually manufactures to help build and repair neurologic and physiologic function. So there's a lot of phenomenal science. Just the whole thing, like we talk about endlessly, which we're getting away from our society, which is very detrimental, is outside time.
Outside time.
Yeah, exactly. Outside time.
Yeah, we need it. I actually think I saw some sort of hippy-dippy story. It was like one of my, very green, eco-friendly news sources, so not sure how credible it was, but they said playing with dirt texturally is very healing and depression easing for human beings. And they said you can also stand with your feet planted in the grass or the dirt, and that can alleviate anxiety, also increase, happy serotonin.
Right.
But yeah, humans.
With some caution being barefoot outside, but nonetheless.
If you have, the capability.
The point is well taken.
Yeah.
It absolutely positively is true. There's so many positive effects for being outside.
Getting in the earth.
Exactly.
Feeling the earth, though, too.
All kids were playing in the dirt.
I know.
Right?
Totally.
We were even eating it when we weren't supposed to.
Yeah, that too.
I know. I feel like that helps with your immune system. Yeah. That's my theory end of the day.
That's another topic, but it probably does to an extent for sure.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's an important topic. And so I think that's the thing that Patty and I spoke about this morning, is to really just emphasize that, look, even if you have some physical disabilities, you do the best you can. And I have a lot of patients in my practice that I tell the same thing. It all adds up at the end of the day. It does, even just a little bit here and there.
Okay, so let's get into some of the things here. So we're talking about gardening, and let's get into some of those things, because you talk about reducing stress and brain health.
Yes, so reducing stress is pretty obvious. Leave your phone inside, or at least in the garage if you're out playing in the dirt. That makes a big difference. Obviously, we really have to pay very, very close attention to what's going on in social media now. It's really frightening.
Totally, yeah,
very,
definitely.
very frightening. Like I'll tell people all the time, is use it as a tool but not a weapon.
Yes.
It can be a phenomenal tool, especially for me as a physician. It's incredible. But
it's just a tool. Don't be dependent on it.
Exactly.
It's not a life source.
It does not make us a difference which, if it's Instagram, X, Facebook, whatever it is, they're still controlled by somebody else. So,
you need to limit your time on it, like any other vice.
Exactly. It's kind of like going to the library. Well, remember we used to do that? We pick this book and we're going to read this source and check it out before we make decisions. But anyhow, so getting away from that, it makes a big difference. And obviously being outside makes a big difference in reducing stress, improving brain health. And it is exercise. It all adds up at the end of the day. One thing I think is very interesting is, so we used to say if you wanted to control your weight, or if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, you should walk for half an hour hour after you eat. It turns out now, if you just get up and walk for 2 minutes,
right.
you can have a significant decline in your blood sugar and a significant increase, if you do it enough times during the day, in muscle mass.
Can someone just like get up in their living room and walk in place?
Exactly. It all adds up at the end of the day.
I might just do
We've
that.
become entirely too sedentary.
I agree with that aspect.
Exactly.
What would you say to somebody, because for me, gardening's tough for me because I have bad lower back pain.
Right.
And bending over, you obviously have to activate your core. You have to be careful about certain movements when gardening.
So raised beds.
Raised
and now you have the beds that you can put on stands and that type of thing. You can actually...
that's a way around that.
Exactly.
That's
and
a good
there's some
idea.
really, really nice things around.
There's a lot of great gardening supplies around.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I can. I mean, certainly the people that do it will tell you about the impact on the stress. I feel like if you just talk to anybody that's in gardening, they'll talk about the stress. And it is obviously if you don't have an issue already, I see that it does seem to help other people be flexible. The getting down and up, if you can do it, as long as you can do it.
Exactly. Just do the best you can. That's all, and make accommodations as you need.
We have a garden here, and I was looking at it, and I was like, Rob, maybe I should revitalize the WATD garden.
Yeah, there is,
it could be a good school project too.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then also I have to say, if my friend V is listening, V, she called in on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
She's a huge gardener. She actually gardened so much that she had too many zucchinis this past summer, and she froze them. She came up with recipes, but there's such advantages. I don't even think she bought produce from the store.
It's wild. I mean, so in my residency training, I was fortunate enough to do lifestyle medicine for 3 years at St. Luke's Anderson in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Cool.
And one of the things that we did as part of lifestyle medicine is to actually go to the schools where St. Luke's actually helped to co-sponsor and train and teach the students and the teachers to garden. It was amazing. Some of the produce that they were able to produce and actually see was phenomenal.
Yeah, that is great.
I mean, that's really lifestyle medicine in action, is getting the kids involved at a young age.
Yeah.
And teaching older adults that, you may not be as flexible as you used to be, but there's a lot you still can do.
Yeah.
So learning about nature is important. And then, as you said, if you do get younger people involved, in addition, and even yourself, but especially with younger people, is that gardening is not an instant gratification type of activity.
True.
It's certainly not. I mean, because it goes all season long.
You're right. It practices patience, for
because
sure.
right now you're thinking about what didn't look that hot last year.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do for beds this year?
Also, you could waste a bunch of money and not grow anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about when you're a little kid and you're looking in the little cup or whatever it is, and you're like, whatever it is, and you're like, what's going to happen?
Growing?
Is it growing yet?
Yeah.
Is it growing yet?
Right.
Is it growing yet?
Well,
No.
adults are the same way.
Yeah,
so.
I know. You always
It's actually,
Exactly.
it's such a great lesson. I never really thought about that. You need a ton of, Mother Nature in itself, she demands patience.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, so that's a great one. Patience and persistence. And then, as we see as well, provides a sense of community. We think about a lot of areas around, it seems like almost all urban areas, you'll see like community gardens that are set up. And it's become such a great idea.
It really has become a phenomenal
They're
idea,
adorable,
and
too.
Really, really good to be designed into cities,
People
too.
are very proud of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're so
Good
proud.
stuff.
They produce a lot, too.
It's incredible.
So a lot of that set up, where I-95 would have been going through the Hyde Park area.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Yeah.
They had all that land back that was taken for, it was going to be for a highway. So, gardening, we know, and as you talked about, sometimes I know some people, live in apartments or don't have a lot of room. They don't have a yard. There are ways to do things.
Right. Yeah, just find a way.
Yeah, a lot of, I think Trader Joe's and Stop and Shop, they sell potted pepper plants. Peppers are really easy to grow.
Exactly.
And so you could have some fresh peppers.
There's so many options.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
so many options. But I think the nice thing I really like about this is to let people know it's not just, it's just work. There's way more to it.
There's a lot of work.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a work of love.
It'd be just something good. Yeah. It's been a while since because I remember both my grandparents always had gardens going in the backyard.
Yeah, mine too.
Rob, let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe we should do something out at this garden.
We have a garden ready to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
talk to the schools.
Revitalize that and get that going. It would be a good project.
It'd be so cute. We could eat free produce.
There you go.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, get the full blog. It's available, drjohnhayesjr.com, drjohnhayesjr.com. Gardening, good for the brain and body. body. And, of course, just reading this article makes you just feel a little happier in a day when it's so cold, I think. So
yes, and above freezing tomorrow, as you said, Rob. So we're looking forward.
Wave.
We'll take
38 degrees.
We'll take it.
Tomorrow, not today, unfortunately.
Text or chat with Dr. John Hayes. His office is in Marshfield, 781-659-7989, 781-659-7989. Dr. John Hayes, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Rob. Thank you, Beth, too.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
we'll talk
guys.
to John Hayes again next week at this time.